Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix. I've been thinking about love. Love for friends, familial love, romantic love, intimate love, love from compassion and empathy. And I've been thinking about it because I've been reading a very enjoyable book called The Dispossessed, a science fiction novel. And it's been really interesting thinking about the main character's idea, which is that even though our naive position seems to be that love is the default because of all of the pain and suffering in the world, ultimately we realize that we're alone in our suffering. It's really interesting to think about because as I embrace these ideas, I realize that I embrace kind of an unexpected hope for leaning into love, even if it might seem sentimental or exaggerative. And I do that because I kind of agree with what could be seen as a naive proposition that yes, suffering, we suffer alone, but we have to love fiercely anyway because we don't know what's going to happen. There's no guarantee on anything. And I've been thinking about this because sometimes I feel as though I respond way too much for my paranoia and mistrust and distrust of others, to the point to where I don't even acknowledge the good that people do. I wouldn't necessarily call it hate in my heart, but I would definitely say that it is a strong emotion of paranoia and distrust and suspicion. And I definitely know that this happens. I know that my paranoid worldview tends to be very steeped into the idea that, unfortunately, the idea is that I worry that people have negative intentions. I worry that it's malevolent and that at the very least people just want to be mean. I've really had to challenge this because I don't think this can be the basis for love. And nor do I think if I am unable to understand my emotions and if I'm unable to understand what I feel, and maybe I treat other people with a deep sense of respect, but not myself. And as they say, you can't really love anybody if you don't love yourself. And I look at it from that perspective because there might be a grain of truth to it. How can I love others if I don't love myself? But the important thing here is that maybe love doesn't have to be so complicated. Maybe there's an element to it that I understand on an intuitive level, even if I struggle to be able to actually embrace it to the point to where love to me is you love fiercely, because that's all that we have. To be able to love fiercely and to love with our compassion and empathy, sympathy for others, bringing them in, pulling them in, being vulnerable, which is often a point of Brené Brown, thinking about our vulnerability. And so for me, the big idea is that I do want to be a loving person, and that with all of the pain in the world, it doesn't make sense to be selfish and be tormented and be caught up in my own suspicions. It just doesn't seem to do any good. And I know it's ingrained. I know it's deeply rooted in the way that I think, for probably a lot of reasons that are out of my control, including hardwiring and very difficult experiences that I've had. But it seems to me that I want to love fiercely because maybe love is all that we have. And maybe I'm able to do good things whenever I'm able to love other people. Maybe I'm able to be closer with them and give myself and them the opportunity for us to know each other. I do struggle to understand other people's perspectives. It's why I seek it out the way that I do in an attempt to understand where they're coming from. But it doesn't really matter in that way because I can still love fiercely. I can love because I need to, because that is a requirement. Because if I can't love, if I can't engage 100% in something so beautiful as love, then what am I doing? And is there even any purpose to it? It's easy to fall into nihilistic thinking because you wonder if you can really love people. You wonder if you can understand the love in your heart. Like I said, I don't think I have necessarily hate in my heart, but I do have the suspicion and the hurt and expecting people to hurt me. I just don't think that that's helpful, especially when fear seems to be the opposite emotion of love. And so I do want to love others more. And I don't know what it means necessarily, but I imagine that some of it is probably self-sacrificial. There's a way in which the sacrifice that we make for others comes because we care about them. Trying so hard to understand another person's perspective, trying so hard to understand where they're coming from. And I just wanted to say that this is a statement of intention. I want to be able to live more fully with that as my mindset of loving fully and fiercely, because even though I've worked at it for a long time, and it's something that's been in my mind for a long time, taking root and germinating, I know how deep all of this really goes, or at least I feel I do. And because of that, I know how important it is, and I know that there's already so much pain in the world, so why add to it? And I don't want to do that, and so this is my declaration, my statement of intention, and what I want to do, what I'm hoping to do, what I'm hoping to do better. I feel it's something that I need to do, so I just needed to express that. I think love is a powerful word. It's often minimized because it's such a common word and we don't really know what it means, and it's abstract and it doesn't make good poetry. But maybe I did draw the naive conclusion that I'd rather love fiercely, even if I understand the intellectual and logical position that people suffer alone and are alone. And maybe that's a really dark premise, a really dark proposition, but nonetheless, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to have that honest expression, that honesty and authenticity for others. And that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'm Phoenix. I hope that you enjoyed this talk, and I hope that you'll check out my other videos. Hit that like button, subscribe, share. Definitely check out my books. Check out my other videos. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.